Rolling.
All right, everyone. Baril training video. Oh, can we start over?
Rolling.
Baril paint training video, take 86. Greetings, everyone, especially to those of you in Malaysia. A special welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Today, I'm going to tell you how to spray Baril's Polyuran I2 Polyaspartic formula number 176. First, I want to talk a little bit about polyaspartics in general. Polyaspartics cure in two ways. One is with a chemical catalyst, much like a traditional two-component urethane. They also cure by a secondary mechanism of moisture in the air, the humidity. The good thing about humidity is it's free, and in this case, the more humidity you have, the faster and harder your coating will cure. So that's good. Especially in Malaysia, I know you have a lot of humidity there. Southern parts of the United States, virtually anywhere in the northern hemisphere in the summer, we've got a lot of humidity, so that's good. So we're going to use that to our advantage. The formula number 176, I have a gallon of the part A right here. Formula number 176 contains zinc phosphate. Zinc phosphate is an anti-corrosive additive. And so for that reason, this is a direct-to-metal coating. It does not require a primer. It is anti-corrosive, and it can be applied. In fact, your specification is going to ask that to be applied, I believe, between 2 and 5 mils dry film thickness. That's 50 to 125 microns. This coating is 57% solids. So if you were to apply, let's see here. If you apply 135 microns, you're going to end up with about 85 microns dry film thickness. So 135 microns dry, 135 microns wet equals about 85 microns dry. That's about the range where we want to be. So we're going to try to apply this at about 135 microns. The mix ratio for this coating is 3 parts part A to 2 parts part B. You could reduce that down if you wanted to. If you did, that'd be 1.5 parts part A to 1 part of part B. I'm going to use 3 to 2 so we eliminate the decimal. So for today, I've pre-measured. This is 6 ounces of part A. So I'm going to add 4 ounces of part B. That'll give us 10 ounces total at a proper mix ratio of 3 to 2. Let's see, is there anything else? Cleanup, we can talk a little bit about cleanup. You can use MEK, methyl ethyl ketone. That's really good if your plant lets you use that. It's very effective. If you can't use that because of many regulations that you have there in the country or in plant, acetone also works well. Now, one thing about this coating is you got to get it out of the lines pretty quick. So after we mix it, I'd like to have it out of the lines in 15 minutes, not more than 20. You'll see this dries pretty quickly. If you let it go longer than that, you're probably going to have problems eventually with it hardening up in the lines. Today we're just going to mix up a small amount. I'll stir it up with a stick. If you're mixing larger amounts, which you're probably not going to because this is a plural component coating and it's fast, you could use a drill mixer, if you're going to apply more. Let's say you want to mix a gallon at a time. But most of our shops that are applying Formula 176 are mixing it with a plural component unit. Graco makes several good ones. There's a 2KE and a 2KS. Either one's fine, they're different, but either one will work. If you're going to do a lot, heavy volume, you probably want to eventually invest in a Graco two-component system. So, all right, let's get started. I'm going to add to this 6 ounces, I'm going to add 4 ounces, giving me a total of 10 ounces. Either of these, part A or part B, can be purchased in gallons, 5-gallon pails, or if you're using a Graco 2K mixer, you can buy these in 55-gallon drums. And those plural component units will automatically measure the correct proportion, keep track of your usage, and thoroughly mix the coating. The advantage of those is you don't have to mix, and the only wasted portion, if you stop spraying, is going to be the fluid that's in the line between the mixing unit and the gun. And that's usually not much, several ounces. Okay, that's plenty of mixing. This stuff mixes up really easily. And it's pretty drippy, as you can see. It's made ready to spray. You shouldn't need to dilute this with anything to get it to spray. It's made to spray. This isn't a brush and roll product, so it's ready to go. No thinning necessary. I'm using a Sada gun today with Sada RTS cups. They work really well. 3M makes some of these. Binks has them. Okay, blow off your unit. I'm assuming you've got a blasted unit. I'm spraying today with air pressure at 40 psi. I'll put on my protective equipment. Now, when I start spraying, my first pass is just going to be a light coat. They call it a mist coat. I'm just gonna go around it and put on just a light texture. It's not going to be opaque. You'll be able to see the steel underneath it. All this coat is doing is it's just going to rough up the steel just a little bit and give my full coat something to grab to. So if I was spraying this in a shop, I might bring 3 or 4 units into the booth and hit them all just quick. We're just going to go around all the units. When I get done, maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes later, I'll come back and then spray the full coat on all the units. So remember, we're trying to spray here, what did I say? 135 microns. Okay, so we're trying to spray a full coat on here, but not all at once. So I'm going to spray my light coat. If you spray a full coat on all at one time, I think what you'll find is you'll end up getting more runs and drips. So doing this in a very light pass to start, and then coming back after a few minutes and spraying a full coat, probably a better move. I did put a clock here. One of the big advantages of this coating is it dries really fast. So I'm going to leave this clock running. I'll spray just my light mist coat. Then I'll shut the video off. We'll come back in a few minutes. You'll be able to see the clock, and then I'll spray my full coat. Okay, that's just going to be a very fast pass. Okay, that's enough for the first pass. I did want to add humidity. You're probably wondering what the humidity is here, because higher humidity is going to quicken our cure time. Humidity right now is 35%. All right, see you in a few minutes. Okay, welcome back everybody. We sprayed our mist coat at I believe about 6:11. It is 6:16 now, so it's been about 5 minutes. That's just to let some of the solvents flash off. I also did a little math during the break and I made an error. I want you to start at about 6 mils wet. That'll be for your full coat. After we do this next coat, it should be about 6 mils wet. This is 57% solid, so if you spray on 150 microns or 6 mils wet at 57% volume solids, after the solvents evaporate out, you're going to end up with 85 microns dry film thickness, which is the equivalent of 3.5 mils. I believe your spec says you should be between 2 to 5. So we're shooting for 150 microns wet film thickness. All right, it's been about 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and give it a full coat.
All right, I'm going to do a quick test here and see where we're at. Look at that. I actually put on 6 mils first try. That's crazy. Okay, lucky me. I'll keep going.
Okay, that should take care of that. Again, 6 mils, 150 should equal about 3.5 dry. Remember, with this coating, you've got to get it out of the gun. I prefer to have it out in about 15 minutes. MEK works well. One note, as a reminder, a problem you can have with this coating is if the substrate is oily or greasy, you're going to have problems. This product just does not stick to oil and grease because it's looking for humidity, water, to help it cure. So if it sees oil and grease, it turns and runs the other direction. Great coating, single coat. Thanks for watching. Hope it goes well. If you have any questions, my name's Carter Strand. Please give me a call. Thanks very much. Okay, I'm back. Bonus edition, extra footage. I forgot to tell you 2 important things. Number 1, I am spraying with a Sodajet 1000 BRP with a 1.3 millimeter fluid tip. You can go up to 1.4. I think 1.5 is probably going to be a little bit big. Doesn't have to be a SATA, but 1.3 fluid tip seems to work well. Okay, so the time. I wanted to show you how quickly this stuff dries. I sprayed on that full coat at about 6:16. It is currently 6:32. That's been 16 minutes, and it is dry as can be. This stuff's really incredible. So for fast production, if you're on an OEM line, boy, you can really move with this stuff. Heat does not help. It's not that it's bad, but it doesn't seem to really increase your productivity. So as the temperature rises, the air molecules expand, they hold more moisture, which means the relative humidity is going to go down as the temperature goes up. So as the temperature goes up, it may speed up the chemical catalyst process. However, in this case, I think the humidity is more important. So you don't need to bake these units to get them to cure quickly. You really don't gain anything. So if it's, I don't know what the temperature would be in Celsius, but if it's a 70-degree day, don't think by heating to 90, 100 degrees Fahrenheit, you're going to gain anything. You're really not. More important is humidity. That's it. Super dry. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks very much.